Castle Itter, the strangest battle of World War II, has been turned into a board game, and this board game has received a digital adaptation. I'm going to play through this intriguing digital edition and give you an idea of how it plays here on Legendary Tactics. So we are going to play a game on the beginner level. I'm not an expert at this game yet. But this is going to give you a good idea of at least what I've figured out as far as how to play. My first action is to fire up Besotten Jenny and make sure that we get some suppression tokens down. I love the fact that you can get 6 suppression tokens down with that play. And we're going to put Pollock in there, and I like putting him on the corner because he can split up those 3 suppression tokens between the red and purple zones. In the beginning, before the SS soldiers begin to really march and start to move forward, I love getting the suppression tokens in place. And I have no problem with getting 10 tokens up and running, as that blocks potentially 7, 8, 9, and 10 entrances on any of those 4 areas. And also just getting the tanks loaded up. And I want to make sure that I have there's some more suppression there. So we got some nice suppression tokens all the way around. And in general, you're going to see me spend 1 token per per occasion, unless I really want to ramp up the odds. But I tend to spend them very sparingly, and occasionally I'll do that if I see something that's a larger unit or something, or a tougher unit, then I'll spend more than that. But I have no problem with 50% odds. If it basically blocks half of the troops coming in, that's totally fine with me. That's more than enough. Dodged a bullet there with the attack there, and right now, again, my the way I see it is my job is to load up Besotten Jenny with some tank soldiers and 1 leader to rally them all in one go, and that's something that I'm always looking to do. Once I've got the suppression tokens in position, I'm very happy to start actually going after the SS soldiers. Now I want to try and see if I can get Barotra to escape, and that's something that I'm always trying to position myself to do. So the Besotten Jenny is the first part of that equation, and I've got the gatehouse locked up, so I'm going to make sure as well to put a commander in each sector, in each zone, to make sure that I've got the ability to revive as many people as possible with a command action. So now I'm always going to try and combine the officer and the morale, the vulnerable soldiers, the militia, I call them, the ones with low morale, so that we don't lose any soldiers unnecessarily. Now the funny thing is about this game, sometimes it feels, especially when the reinforcements arrive, that there's almost too many soldiers for the spaces available, and sometimes it almost makes sense for some of them to get killed off in order to make room for things to happen, to move troops around and all that stuff. But I guess it's a good problem to have if you've got too many forces. So yeah, I'm just kind of making sure no one gets within more than one space, and I do my absolute best to keep the mortars and the machine gun nests away. They just cause too much disruption and damage, and they're just a real pain. So I got lucky there. But you can see how these suppression tokens, just spending one at a time, just reduce the odds a little bit. It's amazing how much of a difference that can make just in terms of the number of SS troops that turn up on the board. And that allows me to make sure that they are pared down. Again, keeping some suppression tokens around. Maybe if I'm placing 2 in a zone, use 1 to suppress, 1 to shoot. And I try and get the officer down first as well, so that, if there's any issues with a casualty, that those morale vulnerable riflemen are not going to panic and run. So you can see I'm in a combination of some lucky suppression rolls and some pretty decent shooting. I've got the SS relatively under control here. So and we've got a few more troops to place, but things are looking okay as far as a start goes. All the structures are still at full strength. So just trying to figure out what the best combination is. I guess I'll put an officer there and get rid of another SS. And so now we get, once again, to spend 1 token, I find is a great way to just lessen the odds. And, hey, there's 2 cards, just 2 SS troop entries that were blocked. Now that one got through, but that's fine. That's part of the odds. And now that I've run out of suppression tokens, it feels very vulnerable. But dodged a bullet there in the North Terrace, literally. And so we're going to load up the last of the troops, and got another one. The riflemen are doing a pretty decent job with that, and there's not a lot of targets left, so it's almost a waste to use any attacks at this stage. I think again, if you have the time, then suppressing is never a bad idea, because especially if you can get more than 1 token, I think it's actually a pretty decent idea most of the time. So we're going to, I was just debating where to put Gangle, but I decided I'm going to put Gangle in the North Terrace there. So yeah, there are never enough officers, never enough commanders to go around, unfortunately, but let's see if we can... Oh, we got another one. That's great. And Gangle can use the command action. And again, that's where I think you want to have a commander in every zone if possible. And get some suppression markers down early. And in fact, even though the Besotten Jenny is such a powerful shot, I think the real value is in the suppression tokens that it builds up, because you can get a kill with a good shot with Besotten Jenny, but those 6 suppression markers are who knows how many enemy that will prevent entering the board. So now we got all of our units down. The French units are now available, and again, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of spots for them. We'll have to make room for them in the Great Hall. I've got to get out of the way, and in order to do that, I need to recover that 1 exhausted troop. And once again, looking at the setup, I really like building up having that guy in the corner there to add suppression tokens between the 2 regions. And we're getting everyone, sort of waking everyone back up now from their exhaustion, getting all of our commanders back online, so they can use their command action. It's one of those things too where you have so many troops sometimes that oh, there's a machine gunner. This is why you got to try and block them. But you almost have only 5 actions is not enough to actually accomplish what you're trying to do. So they're beginning to advance, unfortunately, from the gray zone, And so we need to get Basat and Jenny back up and running, get some suppression happening there, because they can certainly start running rampant if there's not the suppression markers there to reduce their number. So we got Basat and Jenny back, and we've got the South Terrace active and the North Terrace relatively active as well. We've got going to move that soldier, that rifleman, out of the way to make room for some French prisoners to come up from the cellar. And we've got a couple of actions left here. I don't know why I clicked on that particular unit. I guess I was thinking about maybe bringing back those guys. Okay, that's perfect. That'll do. And then we need to oh yes, we can't use Basat and Jenny because we just used the command action this turn, so we're just making the most of the 1 or 2 units that I can do anything with. So at this stage we'll maybe take the opportunity to move up a French prisoner from the cellar and get him up. There's never enough actions, that's for sure. You wish the French prisoners when they come up, French prisoners when they come up, give you that inspire bonus. So we prevented that green zone entry, and again, purple and gray are just expanding like crazy because we don't have the suppression down. Absolutely key to this game. So again, we've got Pollock revived, but we're going to use a couple actions to load up and fire Basat and Jenny and get a good chunk of suppression tokens back. Now I do need to shoot with the other guns because we need to do some damage. And again, take out those mortars, take out those machine guns. They can cause a lot of issues. And especially when you get a suppressive fire card that goes around the horn and triggers them all, that can be really, really destructive. There's a lot of preemptive kind of work that you need to do in this game, and if you can keep the mortars down and the machine gunners down, then suppressive fire has very little effect, if any, and you definitely the suppression markers, as I said, it's all preventative kind of work, just to buy you some time, and because again, here's suppressive fire, so they're going to go around the horn, and they're going to hit disrupt one of my officer there, but other than that, not too heavy, right? So that's why you generally want to. I'm fine with spending 2 suppression tokens if I can possibly do that. I want to try and prevent those units from coming in. That's probably the only time you'll see me spend more than 1 suppression marker there. So we've got to get rid of those that mortar, that machine gun in the purple zone. That's being very disruptive. The green's very quiet, the red zone very quiet. So what I like about that as well is that if I can get Barotra up from the cellar in the near future, red is a prime candidate for me to escape to. Green is secondary, so we're going to potentially get and I got that machine gunner, which is great, but potentially get an escape from Barotra, and that's gonna help save me a few turns and get me out of this scenario to end the game sooner, which is what you want. So the flak gun goes around, luckily missing. I've been very lucky with the rolls. This is a game which does require some luck.
He's gone.
Now that one was unlucky, but the attack on the South Terrace has no effect, so I've been very, very fortunate. A few bad die rolls and the whole game can really change, the whole complexion of it. Missed the mortar, unfortunately, but I'll bring back a couple of units there. We're going to see what we can do to get that. I'm thinking about getting that French soldier out of the way, and also to the French prisoner out of the way, but I also want to take advantage of the inspiration if possible. So and that move was just kind of preventative. Again, may not have been the most effective of moves in retrospect, but it did reduce the pressure a little bit, and we've got some suppression markers to go around. So that is that's great, and we're keeping the pressure down a little bit. Now that and we got lucky on that one too. Now here comes the first attack on Besotten Jenny. Gets a hit. That's to be expected. So we're on a timeline with Besotten Jenny, but again, suppression markers. I don't honestly can't see why you would fire individual shots with Besotten Jenny. Should be all about suppression. And I take out the machine gunner and that mortar, so that is huge. If there's a suppressive fire card in there, it's not going to bother me whatsoever. Get some more suppression. Now I'm out of markers in the red and green, so this is a bit of a problem. And they're popping up now because there's not a... oh, geez. There's another hit on Besotten Jenny. And the risk is now... And this is always where I find it's kind of an interesting challenge, is you have to hopefully escape, evacuate some of those crew members before the tank blows up. But you don't have a lot of time, especially if they're all exhausted. So I've got to recover that the commander. I think it's Bass, if I can, I think. And then do a command action and then do move actions to get them out of there. So it's going to be tricky. There's not a lot of time to do that once it gets down to the structural strength of 4. Anyway, we've got the French prisoner over to the keep, and that is going to open the door for Barotra. And so we want a suppression marker there if we can, just in the green area, because I'm trying to keep green and red as open as possible. Now red's beginning to fill up, so green is looking like a little more attractive as an escape route, and the suppression is working exactly as it should be. There's a lot of SS troops coming in, or attempting to come in on that front. And the gatehouse takes a hit. So that is what it is. The buildings are going to degrade. You just got to hope that they hold out long enough. Now we've got, the good news is we're at turn 12 already, so there is a reasonable chance here that we can win this game. Things snowball quickly, though. So the one thing when you fall behind. Or start to fall behind, it can really begin to snowball. So I'm going to bring Barotra up from the cellar, see if we can get him to escape. I'm going to load up on the suppression markers in the red zone as well. Once again, dodging a bullet, literally in the south terrace.
He's gone.
And there goes Besotten Jenny. So that's unfortunate. There's a lot of cards, as you can see, 2 cards targeting it. So lost some victory points there, but that's all right. We'll see what we can do here. I need to take out that unit there to make way for Barotra. It's a little bit of logistical dance. You got to move soldiers out of the way, move Barotra into place, time it so that you've got the coast clear, and then send him on his way. There's a little bit of maneuvering there. It's not easy, but we're going to recover him to make sure he's ready to go when we have a chance. And the mortar, I'm gonna spend both my tokens. I really don't want that mortar turning up, and blocked it. And the sniper missed, and that's always seems to be rare. Usually the snipers are the ones that destroy me every time. But because Besotten Jenny is no longer a target, there is those cards are essentially useless, which is fine. as long as we can keep this momentum up. I don't like how far purple is advanced, and that's a bit worrisome. The gray zone, the units advancing into the beige zone from the gray, those are also of a concern, but purple to me, I really want to make sure that I'm shortening that lineup there. And oh, we got some disrupts, and about 50-50. Got some misses, got some disrupts, and damaged the keep. So the keep took a real battering this time. And there's some
casualty.
There's a disrupt and a KIA. So now the good news is it did open up a space for one of my militia to run to, and that I am okay with, because I want to get Barotra. Green is still looking pretty good. I'm gonna need a bit of luck to take out that one SS unit. And there's the other one on space 10 that could advance there. So, and I've only got one suppression marker there. So let's see if we can get a lucky shot. We miss. Let's try again, and we got him. So now there's a clear path, as long as we can keep the green zone clear. So just think about whether I can block this Sturm guy, and I can't. So I'm gonna have to think about this. Now there's those Sturm units are a bit hard to suppress. You need some luck on those ones. North Terrace takes a hit, and here comes some reinforcements, which is great. Just in time, because I need to bring down some fire on that beige zone. Make sure that those units don't keep advancing. They're only 3 spaces away from the Castle Itter, and if that happens, I lose. So, gonna get this officer out of there and move Barotra into position. As it sits, we actually have a chance here. So, I'm gonna see if I can take out. Well, I gotta whittle down the stack here. That is feeding into the beige zone and so forth. But I'm going to be able to play some reinforcements and take out, or at least attempt to take out the stacks. That stack that's pushing on the castle. It's at the castle gates there. The reinforcements are okay. There's one of them in particular that's quite good, but they're not the be-all and end-all, unfortunately. Here comes the suppressive fire, and once again, paying close attention to those machine gun nests and mortars. It becomes a useless card. Now the Great Hall takes a hit, and again, nothing we can do about that over the course of the game, but in this case, I'm going to spend 2 tokens because I really don't want that path to advance. And let's spend command. Barotra's ready to run. Just needs one more turn. And we're at turn 17, so it's maybe only a short amount of time that's saved here. But well, every little bit helps. And we're going to, we managed to shorten that, the stack that was approaching on the beige route. And we're getting as many units ready as possible. We're going to bring up another prisoner. That's in anticipation of a win here. And we suppressed that one, which was huge. Now, of course, we're getting a ton of soldiers approaching in the green zone, and we weren't able to block that one. So now suddenly Barotra's escape is blocked by both 11 and 10. So that was unfortunate, but hopefully we can make this work. We've got a couple of riflemen that can take some shots. With a bit of luck, they can clear the path. We'll see if that's going to work. So I'm going to recover another soldier with the line of sight to the greens. Of course, I miss on the first one. On the second one, get a hit. So that's good. Barotra is ready to go, but we need to get rid of that one unit in space 11, and then we can end this game early. So with the gatehouse gun, I'm going to take out the guy in number 10, and that's going to basically take all the pressure off there. A mortar arrives and disrupts my gatehouse guy, but that's fine. There's no pressure as yet to from green to advance, although the beige zone is suddenly in critical shape, and that's because all those suppression markers had been used up. So we're turn 19 here. We get a lucky shot with the U.S. soldier, and Barotra escapes. Now we're at turn 19, so I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference, but at any rate, the red zone is still in pretty good shape. Purple's fine. It's really just the beige zone that's causing issues here. So we'll make sure, you know, since I'm not sure exactly the timing of the end of the game here, we'll make sure we just recover some units in the Great Hall and use up our suppression markers in vain this time, but again, and this is where it begins to snowball. You can see, wow, where did all those troops come from? Now purple looks out of control, and that came out of nowhere. The suppressive fire have to take one hit from a mortar, and the gatehouse guy is dead, and suddenly we drew the infantry card, and that was Barotra bringing the reinforcements, and it is game over. And we have scored a minor victory, and there's the stats for you. So hopefully this playthrough gave you a good sense of how to play and potentially how to win this game. Thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.